Hi, Despina from simplyyummy123.com. We're going to make a quick Valentine's menu that I blogged about. So I'll show you how to do it. It's so easy. Look, I'm dressed already for dinner, and that's how easy it is. Of course, I did do some cleaning first. So you got your butternut squash all cleaned out. This is a really good one because it's got lots of squash in it and very little seed. And I'm just going to pour a little bit of olive oil on top. So depending on the size of your squash is how much olive oil you're going to use. But it should be pretty good. And then, whoops, that's a little bit too much cinnamon. Okay, so I will just rub these together. That's what you get when you're trying to hurry. We're just doing this a little bit later than usual. Then you just flip them over. And you take some of this extra oil here that's falling around and just rub it on the top, and if there's cinnamon mixed up, doesn't matter. Sometimes I just do it with paprika, no cinnamon. But because cinnamon is said to be an aphrodisiac, it's kind of a good thing to use on Valentine's Day. And that's it. Then you put it in the oven until you can mush it at about 375, 350 degrees, depending on how your oven works. And that's all you do. These are they're going to be roasted cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes I cut in half because I forgot to buy tomatoes, and these are the only tomatoes I had left in the fridge. These are tiny little banana peppers, so they're not really very hot at all. And all I did was wash them and poke them with a fork. Take this big one. You just, careful of your hand. You can even poke it when it's down there. You need to stab them because otherwise they will explode in the oven, and you really don't want them to explode in the oven because it makes a mess. So that's it. You do not put any oil because the oil will just burn. So it's best to just leave them like this. I've got them on parchment paper because I don't really want to do a lot of cleaning tonight. And I'm going to put them in the oven. When they come out, I am going to put some olive oil and a little bit of lemon juice and some oregano over them. These go under the broiler, but quite a bit under, like almost about 10 inches under, because again, you want them to broil or roast, but slowly. So here's the halibut, 2 pieces for 2 people. Just a little bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit. And then we take some nice dry white wine and add a lot because we're kind of poaching the halibut in the wine. So there you go, that's how much you have in there. And then I'll take a little bit of paprika and really shake it over top. And you can add garlic if you want, but because it's Valentine's Day, I don't really want to add garlic, you know. And a little bit of powdered mustard, or you can put some chili peppers. Chili's pretty good too, and actually pimento cayenne is a bit of an aphrodisiac as well. So if you want to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, if you don't mind it a little bit hot, and you just sprinkle on some chopped green onions. Really cover it. They melt down quite a bit. I don't have any parsley, so I'm going to use cilantro. You don't even have to chop it up. You just lay it on. It's all going to get nice and crispy and just melt right into it and provide the flavor that you want. And that is it. That's all you have to do. You put it in the oven at 350 degrees for approximately 15 minutes, give or take, depending on the heat of your oven and the size of the halibut steaks. These ones are probably going definitely for 15 minutes because they're not very big, they're not very thick. I'm going to do a little raspberry vinaigrette for my tossed greens salad. There's spinach and lots of baby greens in here. So what we do is we take some frozen raspberries and let them thaw. We add a little tiny bit of olive oil, well, more than a little tiny bit, I guess. We add a few drops of delicious balsamic vinegar. Just a little tiny bit. And with balsamic vinegar, it pays to get the expensive one because then you don't have to add very much to get the flavor that you want. So then on the salad itself, I'm going to pour a little bit of herbs de Provence because they have some lavender in there. And we are making a Valentine's dinner tonight. So lavender just sweetens things up and you want it to be sweet. So do the raspberries. Then a little bit of basil. Yeah, you can use fresh if you like. You can find it in your area of the world. It's not always available where I live. Then I'm going to mash up the raspberries. Remember, these were frozen organic raspberries. Forgot cucumbers. I've sliced some English cucumber very, very, very thin, as you can see. And that is just going to get in there because cucumber keeps you cool. And during dinner, you want to be cool as a cucumber. Plus, cucumber has a lot of other healthy properties in it, so, and you want to be healthy. Then just a little tiny bit of sea salt sprinkled on top. That's it. I don't even think that was 1/8 of a teaspoon. So if you're on a low sodium diet, this is perfectly acceptable. And you just take all of this, make sure it's blended well, pour all over the top. And mix it up just a little. You notice how the lettuce goes down when you pour the dressing on? That's why you pour the dressing on at the very last moment, just before serving. And this is our Valentine's Day dinner. We have roasted asparagus, which you just roast the asparagus with a little bit of water. You flip off the ends, save them for a soup broth, and then you add fresh oil, extra virgin olive oil, and lemon juice. At the end, a sprinkle of oregano, and away you go. This is the whipped up squash with a little bit of cinnamon and olive oil, the halibut, and just a little roasted tomato for a little added color. And we are done. We have our Valentine's Day dinner. It's light, it's flavorful, it's full of nutrients, and it'll help you get through the night with a lot of energy, a lot of calm, and nothing else. Thanks. Enjoy.